Today we're interviewing Howard County Executive Ken Ullman. Thank you for
having me.
today.
And thank you for having me. I like your silly bands.
What is your job as county executive?
My job as county executive is to help manage the county. So two major parts of my job. One is that all the county departments, so departments like Public Works that manages the roads and the water and sewer system and picking up trash and recycling and things like that, and Recreation and Parks and the police department and the fire department and licensing and permits and all those agencies that help make our county work and run well. I oversee them. So the department head reports to me, and I'm manage them to make sure they're delivering the services that the taxpayers are paying us to deliver. The other major important function of my job is to produce the budget. So basically to decide how to spend the money that we collect from the citizens. So how much should go to education, to our great schools, and how much should go to the police department and the fire department and the library system, and whether or not we're going to build new schools or new parks, because it all costs money. And so the budget's a very important part of the job because that really drives our priorities.
What are some of your priorities for Howard County?
That was a perfect segue, wasn't it? I didn't even know that was in your question. Important priorities. Well, first and foremost is to make sure we're safe. So that's the absolute #1 priority, is to make sure we've got a great police department and fire department, and make sure we're keeping our citizens safe. And then it's education. And our schools are very important, not only to the students who go there, but to the community at large, to make sure that, well, frankly, the school system is a reason why many people want to come live in the county. And so that's very important. And then the libraries and parks, and just the quality of life that we've come to enjoy. And so being safe, the quality of life, and then very important to me is that we've been able to make progress in the environment. And so whether it be recycling, or whether it be, which I know Swansfield does such a fabulous job with your green beans. Any of you in the environmental club? In fact, I think the first time I noticed it was I saw somebody close to you with a reusable bag at the Giant that said that on. And so we've done a number of things. We've created an Office of Environmental Sustainability, and we're going to have the first solar-powered school soon with a big solar array, and we're capturing methane gas at the landfill shortly, and moving forward on improvements in stormwater management, things like that. So that's very important. And then also healthcare is very important to me. My younger brother Doug runs the Lance Armstrong Foundation in Austin and is my hero, and he's a 3-time cancer survivor, and so that's been a driving force behind us trying to make Howard County the model public health community and making sure that our neighbors have access to quality, affordable health care. So a few of our priorities. And I could keep going on, but I'll go to our next questioner.
Do you feel like a superstar?
Do I feel like a superstar? Oh my gosh. Do I feel like a superstar? Not when I go home and my girls tackle me. No. Do I feel like a superstar? It's a job that's very tough much of the time, because you can't do everything to make everybody happy. So no, I don't feel like a superstar. I feel like somebody who is very fortunate to have this job, because I grew up here, went to school here, my kids are going to school here, and I just feel very fortunate to have this job. It is fun sometimes to go out and have people say hi and have people tell you what they think of the job you're doing. Most of the time it's good things, but occasionally people have opinions about things we should be doing differently. So keeping all that in balance is a challenge sometimes, but I feel very fortunate to have this job. That was a great question.
And how do you feel when everybody looks up to you?
Well, I hope they look up to me, but they look at me. I just try to do the best I can. And my sense, and that would be advice I would give to each and every one of you, is just not to get too caught up in what people think of you. And my experience has been that if you do the best you can, you explain to people why you're doing what you're doing, then things take care of themselves. People make their own decisions. It's when you try too hard to impress everybody that you aren't as successful.
What is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part of my job. That is a great question. It's a challenge managing people. I've got about 3,000 people who work for me, with me here in the county, and there are things that I want to accomplish, and making sure that everyone's on the same page, everyone who works here is moving forward with the same sense of urgency to get things done, is sometimes frustrating. But with that said, we've made a lot of progress. So I think the hardest part is just not being able to do everything I want to do as quickly as we want to do it.
How do you balance your work how do you balance all the work you have to do every day and not get too busy and overwhelmed?
It's a constant battle. It really is. In fact, my wife called just before I walked in here and said, we have our daughter's schools at their school, their end of the year picnic, and I still have an event to go to in Western Howard County, and she wanted to know what time I'm going to be at the picnic, and so making sure that we balance everything is a constant battle. And I make sure I go home for dinner or meet the family for dinner virtually every night. So sometimes they'll meet me somewhere before I have to go to an event, or I'll go home and then have to go back out. But it is a challenge.
What do you think are the qualities of a good leader?
Qualities of a good leader. To listen, and listening is one of the hardest things to do well, and to make sure that people understand that that you're listening, that you're trying your best, that you care, that you're interested in what they think, even if you can't solve the problem that they want you to solve, to give the reasons why, and to communicate effectively. And I think that's been my experience, those are important lessons for leadership.
Do you think you are a good leader? Why?
I think I'm a good leader most of the time. I think, like anyone, I'm always striving to do better. And in my job, being busy and being pulled in a number of directions, it's a constant battle to be effective all the time. And so I think no matter what your job is, whether you're a student in school, whether you're a parent, whether you're talking about your job, in whatever function, it's important to continue to improve and not think that you're the best that you're going to be. And it's like being in school, right? Well, you can always do your homework a little bit better. You can listen a little bit better, follow instructions a little better. Not you, of course, you're but so yeah, I think I'm proud that we've been able to accomplish a lot of things, but we can always do better.
Why did you decide to run for county executive?
Because I love Howard County, and I was able to be in positions in government and politics in the national level and the state level. And when I came back to raise a family here, I decided that I always thought I wanted to be involved, and so I ran for the county council, and then the opportunity presented itself to run for county executive, and I figured somebody's got to be making the decisions to keep Howard County a great place. Why not me?
Do you think you're